In this video, we are going to learn a super powerful method in JavaScript array, that is the reduce method. Now, before understanding that topic, I want you to know a very important concept in functional programming, that is reducer function. Now, what is a reducer function? A reducer function is a function which will give instructions for combining things. Now, what do I mean by that? Let's understand that with an example. Say you are picking mangoes off a tree and you have a basket. Now, what to do with those mangoes? A sensible instruction would be to keep them in the basket, right? In JavaScript, you can make that function like this. Here we are assuming that your basket is an array, by the way. So we are giving the basket and the picked mango to the function as arguments. And the return statement is like saying, has the result of combining these items. Okay. Now, every time you are picking a mango from the tree and giving it to the function with the basket, and the function is keeping that mango in the basket and returning the basket to you. So this function is a perfect reducer function because it is combining the basket and the mango. Now, if you want, you can make the reducer function even fancier. Like make the reducer function named keep ripe mango. And the logic would be if the color is yellow, keep that mango in the basket and return the basket. Otherwise, just return the basket without keeping. As you can see, we are accumulating mangoes in the basket, right? In fact, this first argument is called an accumulator, and the second argument is called the current value. In our case, that is the mango. So in a reducer function, the first argument is called accumulator, and the second argument is called the current value. Now consider this situation. Say you have an array of mangoes, and you want to make tally of how many mangoes are ripe and how many are not. Okay. So this is say your initial tally sheet. Everything is 0 right now. So and over time this tally sheet will be updated. Now let's make a reducer function named tally mangoes. And as you know, a reducer function will always receive an accumulator as its first argument and the current value as the second argument. In our case, that is the tally sheet as the first argument and the mango as the second argument. And the logic is if the mango.color is green, then we will increment the green count in the tally sheet. And if the mango.color is yellow, then we will increment the yellow count. And finally return the updated tally sheet. Now what we can do is we can run a for loop and iterate over the mangoes array. And for every iteration, you can call your reducer tally mangoes and pass the tally sheet and the current mango. And the return value of the reducer function can be the new tally sheet every time. Okay. In this way, we can update our tally sheet. Now to do this, instead of writing all this for loop, we can use a built-in function in JavaScript array. That is the reduce function, not reducer function. That is array.reduce function. Okay. You can call this function on an array and pass a reducer function as the first argument and the initial value as the second argument. And the return value of this reduce method will be the final tally sheet. So we can remove this line as well. If you run this code, you can see we are getting 3 yellow mangoes and 4 green mangoes. So this is the array.reduce method in a nutshell. The first argument will be a reducer, which will be used to reduce the array. And the second argument will be the initial value, like the empty basket. Now this reducer function is one of the toughest and powerful function in JavaScript. So to fully grasp this concept, you should do some practice, okay? After this video, you can try getting the summation of the numbers in this array by the reduce function. And I can give you some hint. Always start with making your reducer function first, okay? And as you know, reducer function will always accept an accumulator and a current value. Now at first iteration, the accumulator would be whatever initial value you pass, and the current value would be the first element of the array. In the second iteration, accumulator would be whatever you returned from the reducer function in the first time, okay? And the current value would be the second element in the array, and so on and so forth for the rest of the elements. And finally, this value will be returned from the reduce method. One important thing is if you do not provide an initial value, then the first element of the array will be the initial value and the reduce will start from the second element. Okay. So this was all about the array.reduce method. If you think you learned something from this video, consider subscribing this channel and I will see you in the next video. Thank you. Bye.